There is a type of business in America with a 5-year survival rate of nearly 95%. To put that in perspective, the commonly cited failure rate for restaurants is around 60% in the first year. For retail stores, roughly half are gone within 5 years. The average small business in America has maybe a 50-50 shot at making it past year 5. This business makes it almost every time. It has been doing this since the 1930s. It survived the Great Depression, every recession since, and a global pandemic that shut down entire industries. During the 2008 financial crisis, while restaurants emptied and retail stores closed, this business saw revenue hold steady or increase. During COVID lockdowns in 2020, while gyms shuttered and movie theaters went dark, this business was classified as an essential service and stayed open. You have probably used it within the last month. You have definitely walked past it, and almost nobody in the investing world talks about it seriously, which is exactly why a certain type of patient, quiet investor has been buying them for decades. That business is a laundromat, and the economics underneath it are stranger and more interesting than almost anyone realizes. Let's start with what a laundromat actually costs to run, because this is where the story begins. A typical self-service laundromat is a room. It has machines in it, commercial washers, commercial dryers, a change machine, maybe a few chairs and a vending machine for detergent. The lease is on a strip mall somewhere near apartments. The machines run on water, electricity, and gas. That is the business. There is no inventory to go bad. There is no product to manufacture. There is no complex supply chain to manage. The customers bring their own product, their clothes, and they pay to use your machines to process it. When they are done, they leave. The machines sit there ready for the next person. The cost structure of a well-run self-service laundromat breaks down roughly like this. Utilities, water, gas, electricity, eat somewhere between 15 and 30% of gross revenue, depending on the age of the equipment and local rates. Rent or mortgage runs another 10 to 25%, depending heavily on location. Maintenance and repairs on the machines run a few hundred to a couple $1,000s a month. Insurance, supplies, maybe a part-time attendant a few days a week. Add it all up, and a well-operated laundromat keeps somewhere between 20 and 35% of its gross revenue as net profit. Those margins are not spectacular. They are not software margins. But consider what you are getting for them. The average laundromat in the United States generates somewhere around $150,000 in annual gross revenue. At a 30% net margin, that is $45,000 in annual profit from one location. A larger, well-placed facility in a dense urban market can generate $300,000, $400,000, or more, with the same margin profile but significantly more total cash flow. But profit margin is only part of the story. The more important number is the owner's time requirement. Most self-service laundromats require between 5 and 15 hours of owner time per week. Not per day, per week. The machines collect the money, the machines do the work. You come in to handle maintenance issues, restock the soap vending machine, collect the cash, and ensure the place is clean. That is it. This is not passive income in the purest sense. There is real work involved, especially for owners managing the machines and handling repairs. But compared to nearly every other business of comparable profitability, the time-to-income ratio is unusual. And then there is the customer. 60% of laundromat customers are renters. They are not choosing to use a laundromat because it is fun or convenient. They are using it because they have no alternative. Their apartment does not have in-unit laundry. Their building's machines are broken, expensive, or perpetually occupied. The laundromat is not a discretionary purchase for them. It is a utility, as essential as electricity or running water. This matters more than almost any other single fact about the laundromat business. When consumers face financial pressure, they cut discretionary spending first. They cancel streaming subscriptions, eat out less, skip vacations, put off buying new clothes. But they do not stop washing the clothes they already own. Clean clothes are not optional. Personal hygiene is not optional. The laundromat sits in a category of spending that is effectively immune to consumer sentiment. Industry data supports this directly. The average laundromat customer visits approximately 2.3 times per week, not per month, per week. and roughly 90% of laundromat customers are repeat visitors. This is not a business that constantly needs to find new customers. It is a business where the same customers come back week after week out of necessity. Not preference, not loyalty, not habit. Necessity. This is what makes the recession math so unusual. Most businesses lose customers during economic downturns. People tighten their budgets and reduce spending. Laundromats experience something close to the opposite. During recessions, rental housing demand increases as people who previously owned homes move into rentals. People who previously lived in apartments with in-unit laundry downgrade to cheaper units without it. The pool of people who need a laundromat actively expands during recessions because recessions push more people into the exact demographic that laundromats serve. The industry was literally born in the Great Depression. The first coin-operated laundry in the United States opened in Fort Worth, Texas in 1934 at the height of the economic collapse. People who could no longer afford domestic help or expensive cleaning services needed somewhere to wash their clothes cheaply. The laundromat filled that gap. It has been filling that gap ever since. Now let's talk about what a laundromat actually costs to acquire, because this is where the investment case comes together. An existing laundromat in the United States typically sells for somewhere between $200,000 and $500,000, with larger or higher revenue locations going for more. These valuations are typically based on a multiple of net operating income, usually somewhere between 2 and 4 times annual earnings. That means a laundromat generating $50,000 a year in net profit might sell for somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000. If you buy that business for $200,000, put 20% down, and finance the rest, you are looking at a down payment of $40,000. Your annual loan payments are manageable. Your net profit after debt service is positive from year 1. In most models, a well-purchased laundromat pays back the initial investment in 3 to 5 years, and then continues generating cash for the remaining life of the equipment, which runs 10 to 15 years before major replacement cycles. The cash-on-cash return for a laundromat investment, when properly structured, typically runs between 20 and 35% annually. That means, if you put $40,000 down on a laundromat acquisition, you might expect to receive $8,000 to $14,000 in cash flow per year from that $40,000 investment, before any appreciation in the underlying business value. This is why a specific type of investor, typically patient, not flashy, uninterested in being on the front page of anything, has been quietly accumulating laundromats for decades. Former executives, family offices, professionals looking to diversify out of the stock market into something tangible and cash-flowing. The laundromat does not make the news. It does not have a charismatic founder. It does not get covered in financial media. It just generates cash, month after month, in a room full of spinning machines. But here is what is changing. And this is the part of the laundromat story that most people have not caught up to yet. The laundromat industry is sitting on the edge of a consolidation wave that looks remarkably similar to what happened in self-storage 20 years ago. Self-storage was once a fragmented, locally operated industry, dominated by independent owners, running single facilities, with handwritten ledgers and padlocks on chain-link fences. Then, institutional capital noticed. National brands emerged. REITs got involved. Today, the top operators in self-storage control roughly 20 to 25% of total U.S. capacity, and the industry is valued at over $50 billion. The same pattern swept through car washes: fragmented, locally owned, dismissed as too small for serious capital. Then private equity figured out the unit economics and the membership model, and $10 billion poured in between 2019 and 2022. Laundromats are now at the beginning of this same arc. According to a May 2026 report in Commercial Observer, institutional inquiries into laundromat investments increased fivefold in the 18 months between mid-2024 and the end of 2025. Former C-suite executives, family offices, and multi-unit retail operators are approaching laundromats with the same analytical rigor they bring to other investment classes. Advisory firms that specialize in laundromat transactions are building institutional-grade underwriting models for the first time. The conditions that preceded consolidation in self-storage and car washes are now present in laundromats. A large, fragmented market with tens of thousands of independent operators, stable, non-discretionary demand, an aging ownership base. Many current laundromat owners are in their 60s and 70s, running businesses their families have operated for decades, with no succession plan, and a widening gap between the best-operated modern facilities and the average neighborhood laundromat that has not been updated since 2005. The modern laundromat is not what most people picture. The coin-only model is increasingly being replaced by card and app-based payments. Wash and fold services, where the customer drops off laundry and picks it up clean, folded, and packaged, are adding a high-margin service layer on top of the self-service base. Pickup and delivery is expanding the customer reach beyond the immediate neighborhood. Subscription models have emerged, where customers pay a fixed monthly fee for unlimited laundry access. Loyalty programs are being built. Operating software is tracking machine utilization in real time. The best operators know exactly which machine in which location is underperforming and why. The gap between an optimized modern laundromat and a neglected coin-only operation is enormous, and that gap is the opportunity. The laundromat business teaches something worth paying attention to, particularly for anyone who thinks about where durable cash flow actually comes from. There is a certain category of business that does not depend on trends, taste, or technology cycles. It does not need advertising to find customers. It does not need a celebrity founder or a viral moment. It is not disrupted when a new app comes along, because no app can wash your clothes. It serves a need that is biological, regular, and non-negotiable. These businesses tend to get overlooked. They are not interesting to write about. They do not attract venture capital or make the cover of business magazines. They sit on commercial strips in residential neighborhoods, open 6 days a week, running quietly on water and electricity and the weekly rhythm of working-class American life. And that obscurity is, in many ways, the point. The businesses that stay boring are often the businesses that stay profitable. Precisely because they are boring, nobody tries to disrupt them. Nobody overpays for them in frothy market cycles. Nobody builds 12 competing versions in the same block. The laundromat has operated on essentially the same model for 90 years, in the same locations, serving the same demographic, generating the same reliable cash flow, through every recession, every crisis, every market collapse. The investor who understood this in 1990 and bought one laundromat quietly, then 2, then 5, did not make the news. They are not on any rich list, but they have been collecting a check every month for 35 years from a room full of spinning machines. And now, for the first time, the institutions are starting to pay attention, which raises the same question it always does in these moments. The self-storage wave has already happened. The car wash wave has already crested. If laundromats are genuinely next, and the data in 2026 suggests they are, then the window to get in before the institutions drive prices up is still open, but not for long. If you want to understand what the next ordinary industry looks like before it stops being ordinary, subscribe to the Economics Machine. Every week, we take something everyone walks past without thinking twice and show you what is actually running underneath it. You might be surprised how often it is a room full of spinning machines.